Hello, today we are doing lesson 3.4, day 2. So what we're going to do today simply builds off of what we did yesterday. And then the second part of what we're going to do today actually talks about a word problem. It's a pretty simple word problem. It's got a few different steps in it, but all of the word problems that we do will follow the same pattern. So we've got two examples, and then we'll do the word problem. Here we are trying to graph using those x and y intercepts. The first thing that we need to do is we need to find those x and y intercepts. We'll get an equation just like we did yesterday. So here the equation is negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my x-intercept. That means I need to make y 0. Negative 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. Negative 3x equals 12 because 4 times 0 is 0. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And I get x equals negative 4. Now remember, whenever we graph, we need to have an ordered pair. That means I need to have an x value and a y value. So having just an x doesn't do everything I need. But you guys are pretty smart. I bet you can look at this and think of what y would be when x is negative 4. Well, of course, y is 0. Make y 0 was the first thing we did. So here the ordered pair that we have is negative 4, 0. X is negative 4, y is 0. That gives us 1 point. And I'll put a dot at that point at negative 4, 0. That's right here. So there's 1 point. Now we need to find the other point, and the other point is the other intercept. So that's when we make x 0. If I have negative 3x plus 4y equals 12, and I'm going to make x 0, that means I have negative 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. That means that I have 4y equals 12, because negative 3 times 0 is 0. If I divide both sides by 4, I get y equals 3. This gives us another ordered pair. This ordered pair has 3 for the y value and 0 for the x value. 0, 3. So I'll put a point there as well. 0, 3 is right here. Now you may remember that when we're graphing these, we only need 2 points in order to graph it. And here are those 2 points. So I can insert my arrow, connect my dots here. Make sure it goes straight through both of them. And I have my handy dandy graph. So remember, my first step was make y 0, and I got an ordered pair negative 4, 0. Then I made x 0, and I had the ordered pair 0, 3. Here's another example we're going to do together. This one is 3x plus 2y equals 9. This example is different because you kind of have to deal with some fractions. So that's why we're doing this one together. We will follow the same steps though. So first we're going to make y 0. So here's 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 9. So 3x equals 9. So when I divide both sides by 3, x equals 3. The ordered pair that I get from that is 3, 0, because we made y 0, so my y value is 0. That gives me a dot that I get to add onto my graph. And that is at 3, 0. That's the spot right here. Now we're going to do this again, but we're going to make x 0 to get our other intercept. Here I have 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 9. 3 times 0 is 0, so now I have 2y equals 9. If I divide both sides by 2, I get y equals 8 divided by 2, 8 halves. Or sorry, 9 divided by 2, 9 halves. Which when I simplify that fraction, really gets me 4.5. You guys have been struggling a little bit, not all of you, only a small few have been really struggling with dealing with fractions and things. I want to make sure that you are feeling good about using calculators in order to deal with that. When we graph, we need to remember that half or a third, that just means we're going to go that far between 2 points. So let's take a look at how I graph this one. Remember my ordered pair now is 0 and then 4.5 or 4.5. And here's how we graph 4.5. 0, I'm going to go up to 4, and then I'm going to go 1/2 farther. It's literally 4 and 1/2. So it's between the two lines. Here's 4, here's 5. I have my arrow going through both spots. 3, 0 is here, and 0, 4.5 is there. That is all there is to it to graphing with standard form. The next thing we have to do is word problem. So here we have a word problem. The school band is selling sweatshirts and baseball caps, so selling 2 things, to raise $9,000 to attend a band competition. Sweatshirts cost $25 each, and baseball caps cost $10 each. The equation 25x plus 10y equals 9,000 models this situation, where x is the number of sweatshirts sold and y is the number of baseball caps sold. Our first step is to find and interpret the intercepts. Finding them is easy. That's what we've been doing. Interpreting just takes a second to think about. You guys can crush this. So first I'm going to make y 0. So I have 25x plus 10 times 0 equals 9,000. Then I know that 10 times 0 is 0, so I'm left with 25x equals 9,000. Then I use my handy dandy calculator to figure out exactly what is 9,000 divided by 25. And I get 360. So it tells me that x equals 360. Remember, we can write this as an ordered pair, an x and a y. When we write that as an ordered pair, we get that x is 360 and y is 0 because we made y 0. It's important to write it like this because we get to see exactly what it is we're talking about. Interpret just means try and forget about the math and think about what this ordered pair means. 360 and 0. In a world where we're selling sweatshirts and baseball caps, remember X is the number of sweatshirts. It says that up here. And Y is the number of baseball caps sold. X is sweatshirts. Y is baseball caps. To interpret this intercept, all we have to say is 360 sweatshirts were sold. And 0 baseball caps sold. Now that's just one intercept. Remember, we need to find 2. So finding the other intercept means we need to make X 0. I'm going to do that up here next to it for consistency. $25 times 0, because now I'm making X 0, plus 10 times Y equals 9,000. 25 times 0 is 10. 25 times 0 is 0. So now I'm left with 10y equals 9,000. Divide both sides by 10, and we get y equals 900, which we write as our ordered pair. And we get 0 for our x and 900 for our y. But this didn't change up here. We still have that our y value, y is the number of baseball caps, and x is the number of sweatshirts. So we're going to say something a little different. Here we said 360 sweatshirts and 0 baseball caps. Here we're going to say 0 sweatshirts and 900 baseball caps sold. Notice the difference. It's like we're looking at either extreme. We need 9,000 total. We've got options between sweatshirts and baseball caps. But what if we only sold our sweatshirts? Here, what if we only sold baseball caps? How many of each would we have to sell? Here, B says if 256 sweatshirts are sold, how many baseball caps are sold? Well, that's pretty easy if you remember what X represents and what Y represents. This is saying 256 sweatshirts. Sweatshirts is an X value. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow so remember that's our X. How many baseball caps? That's what we need to figure out. So we're going to take our equation that it gives us in the very beginning, and we have 25x plus 10y equals 9,000. And then it tells us 25 sweatshirts. So that means $25 times 258, because that's how many sweatshirts, plus 10y equals 9,000. 25 times 258, a trusty calculator, gives me 6,450. Now if I'm trying to get y by itself so I can figure out exactly how many baseball caps, we're solving for y. If I subtract 6,450 from both sides, I end up with 10y equals 205,050. So I got this number by taking 9,000 and subtracting 6,450. Now I divide both sides by 10, and I get y equals 255. That's my baseball caps value. That's how many baseball caps would have to be sold if 258 sweatshirts are sold. 255 baseball caps. C says graph the function and then find two more possible solutions in the context of the problem. This means that we have to recognize that this isn't the answer, this isn't the answer, this isn't the answer, but they're all possible answers. All we know is that the combination of sweatshirts and baseball caps reached 9,000. We don't know how many of each. We need to graph this equation and find two more possible solutions. Let's take a look. When we have a situation like this and we're going to add in the values, we need to remember that we are going to change what each one goes by. So the biggest possible x value we already figured out. That's up here. That's my x-intercept, 360 and 0. My y-intercept is 0, 900. So that's the highest I have to go on my y-intercept. So on my x-intercept, I just need to go up to 360. So I'm going to go 100, 200, 300, 400. Here, I need to get all the way up to at least 900. So I'm actually going to go by hundreds. That's a 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to graph my two ordered pairs that I have, 360 and 0. That's right here. Here's 300, here's 400, so here's 350. Here's 360 and 0. Then I have to graph 0 and 900. So that's all the way up here. This gives me my 2 points. My graph moved a little bit. Let's see if we can fix that. Oh, so we'll just go back. There we go. Sorry about that. So now I have to go ahead and throw my line in here. That needs to go through both spots. Now our job is to find two spots on here that work as solutions. So find two more possible solutions. I'm looking for 2 points on here. It's really nice if we can find ones that are kind of easy to see. Like right here, I see these come together. Here's 200 and 400. And here is 100 and about 620. So finding 2 points on this line is going to give us the other solutions, two more possible solutions. And we'd write that as ordered pairs, just like before. All right, that concludes this video. This was 3.4 day 2, standard form, graphing using x and y intercepts. Thanks guys, make sure you're asking questions. Remember, chapter 3, people are really working hard and I really appreciate it. Keep up the hard work.